You see, one of the great feasts that was celebrated was the feast of Passover. And after 320, that was banned from being celebrated. And what they did, they moved it to celebrate Easter. And Easter, listen to some of these. Esther is from the ancient Britons. And that was the feast of equinox, in the spring equinox. That was the feast that was celebrated by the Esther of the ancient Britons. The Canaanites celebrated the same feast on the same days, and that was the god of the Asherah. And so that's where you start to see all the Asherah poles and the worship of the goddess Asherah, who was the fertility god. Hold it with me. And then there is Astarte, which is the Persian equivalent to that spring equinox. And then there's Ishtar, which was the Babylonian god. And all of those were celebrated around the time that the people of Israel celebrated Passover, which doesn't change. It is the first day of the month, the first day of the year in terms of their religious festivals. And so it was the ceremonial beginning of the year. Passover is when that would be the first day of the year. It's when they came out of Egypt. And God says this will be a first day of the year. And then you start to say, well, hold on. How can you get the first day of the year in the 7th month? Well, listen, only God can do that. You know, another one is, you know, the Sabbath starts on the Friday, but the first day of the week is the Saturday. Again, only God can do that. It's just one of those things that God does. And so with that, what happened was that became known at the Nicene Creed, outlawed the Passover. And they introduced this Easter festival. It's also the word that we get estrogen from, which is fertility. And so here we move from this Passover, and the church begins to move towards the religions of the world. And so you start to see these things coming in. Up until 190, that never took place. 320, that didn't take place. We worshipped God on the Passover of that feast. But you see, this is what, through the Nicene Creed and also then through Constantine, what he sought to bring into place. Because now he had this whole state religion that needed to come in. And then again, what happened was, so that people could continue to worship their idols, is all they did was that they, what's the word they use when they make Christian saints? Is it canonize them? No, it's not canonize them. Is it canonize them? Or they make people saints. So what they did, they introduced the patron saint of the harvest. And then they introduced another one, because there would be temples where people would go to ask for the favor of the gods on their travel. So now they brought in the patron saint of travel. Is it St. Francis? St. Christopher, who becomes the patron saint of travel. So now they're building up this whole thing in terms of having a religion that is synchronized, that is brought this whole thing together, and now they want to scrub out what it is. So now we get to celebrate Easter with Easter eggs, which is fertility. Bunny rabbits. Can you see? We have moved away from that. Now, what am I saying? Don't buy Easter eggs and all the rest of it? Well, buy them if you want to, enjoy some chocolate. I got no problem with that. But you see, what's happened is this. The world has latched onto it and made it a commercial event, which has nothing to do with how God wanted us to have a revival in our lives so that we could be revived at the truth in terms of Passover. When Jesus gave his life as the firstborn, and where we came out of bondage and into the glorious freedom of the sons of God. Guard your heart, for out of it flows the issues of your life. You can know, you can experience living under the overtaking blessing of God.
Hear this full message by ordering the DVD, CD or MP3 set online at www.revivalfires.org.uk/store.
We need to understand that we come from God, and God has a plan, God has a purpose for your life, and he just longs for you to reach out to him to find it. The chain of destiny can only be grasped one link at a time.
To purchase or download this message, please go to www.revivalfires.org.uk/store.